I want to find the limit as x approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine 3x over 2x. So in order to do this, I need to multiply top and bottom by 1 plus cosine 3x. And with that, I get 1 minus cosine squared 3x. The denominator is 2x times 1 plus cosine 3x. And I'm going to leave it in factored form. So now the numerator is 1 minus cosine squared. Well, I know that sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. Therefore, 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared. Here, instead of x, I'm going to have 3x. So let's plug that in. So at this step, I see that I have sine of 3x over x. If I ignore the coefficients and the 1 plus cosine 3x term, this looks kind of familiar, right? If I have sine x over x as x approaches 0, that's just going to equal 1. So I would like to ideally get it into that form, but the question is, how do I do that? Okay, so it's going to take a couple steps to show. So the first thing we're going to do is take the limit as x approaches 0 and then break up the sine 3x into two pieces. I'm going to factor out the 1/2 outside. So I have sine 3x over x. So this is going to be a nice little trick. I can divide by 3 and multiply by 3 as well. Okay, so if I multiply by 3, divide by 3, it cancels out. So I didn't really change anything. The value is still the same. And at this point, I can break up the limit. So we have sine 3x over 3x times limit x approaches 0 of sine 3x over 1 plus cosine 3x. I can now make a substitution. If I let u equal 3x, as x approaches 0, u also approaches 0. So I'm basically changing the variables here. And the nice thing is, if I plug in x equals 0 and for sine 3x over 1 plus cosine 3x, I get 0 over 1 plus 1, which really this thing is 0. So at this point, I could just say the limit is 0. But if I want to show more work, I know now that this limit is 1. So it's 3/2 times 1 times 0. And the limit is 0. And that's the final answer.